Hello. Last episode, I spoke about the separation wall in Palestine, the checkpoints in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, and the siege on Gaza, all of which indicates the nature of the state of Israel, an apartheid state. Apartheid is illegal according to the UN and International Human Rights Watch. There is a definition for apartheid in the UN, which goes something like this. When a race of people or a group of people rule over another group of people and deprive them basically of their human rights and civil rights. They are, as a matter of fact, enslaved to the system. And this is what has been happening to the Palestinians in Israel since 1948. So what is apartheid and how is it practiced in Palestine? In Palestine, there are segregated roads, which means there are roads for the use, the exclusive use of the Jewish Israelis, not the Arabs, under their occupation. There are segregations in swimming pools. Recently, there has been an incident in Afuli, which is a town in the north of Israel, when a Bedouin family arrived into a public swimming pool and were denied entry because they arrived at the time that is not designated for them. That is apartheid. There are different systems of law in Israel. As Gideon Levy, an Israeli columnist for the Haaretz, said, there are 4 or even 5 systems of law in Israel. One covers the Jewish Israelis, one covers the Arab Israelis, one covered the Israeli settlers in the West Bank who are judged under civil law, and another for the Palestinians under occupation in the West Bank who are judged under military law. And there is another for the people of Gaza. They have no rights at all. The nation-state bill, which was approved in July of 2018, states something like this, that self-determination in Israel is exclusive to the Jews, and that settlements in the West Bank are a right for the Israelis and as such are legal. Plus, they reduce the value of the Arabic language from a second language in Israel to a language of interest. This makes the 2 million Palestinian Arabs who are citizens of Israel null and void. So are the other non-Jewish nationals who live in Israel. They have no rights. Rights are exclusively to the Jews. It doesn't stop there. If a Jewish immigrant from America comes to a part of Palestine and puts a claim to a house of a Palestinian citizen under occupation, it becomes his by law. And we have seen recently what happened in Sheikh Jarrah in East Jerusalem, when a Jewish immigrant from New Jersey went and occupied a house of a Palestinian family. And when the lady asked him, "How could you steal my home?" he had the audacity to answer on camera that if he didn't steal it, somebody else will come and steal it. That is what apartheid does. Many a Jewish scholar and writer attested to the Jewish nature of Israel, to the Jewish apartheid nature of Israel, and so did Jimmy Carter. President Carter, in an interview of 4 December 2009, said that the apartheid system in Israel, in his opinion, was worse than the apartheid system in South Africa. Professor Alain Pépé, an Israeli historian born in Haifa and now living in England, said, "I think Israel in 2014 made a conscious decision that it prefers to be a racist apartheid state than a democracy." So Israel, in no uncertain terms, is an apartheid state. But if any one of us dares to say that, despite all the evidence to prove it, we will be accused of being anti-Semitic and hounded to destruction. An ex-Israeli minister of state by the name Shulamit Aloni said Israel practices extreme and violent form of apartheid against the Palestinians. Mandela's grandson, whom I have the honor and the privilege of meeting in London in 2018, said the following. In his opinion, he thought that Israel practices a worse system of apartheid over the Palestinians than the South Africans did over the blacks in South Africa. Are we going to allow Israel to continue practicing this system of apartheid in the 21st century? That remains to be seen. Thank you for listening. Bless you.